Legacies, I don't know, I think we're on episode 3 or something. I'll title it down at the in the title of what episode it is. But I thought this episode was pretty interesting. When I saw the previews and I saw it was a musical, I was like, are you fucking serious? By the way, this is spoilers, so if you didn't watch it and then come back. When I found out that this was a musical, I was like, are you serious? Like, really? I mean, once again, I gotta point out the obvious. We go from snapping necks and taking our hearts to dance offs and fucking musicals now. So this is and in that sense, yes, it's still fucking stupid. Like, we're doing fucking musicals now. I mean, the good old days when we had Papa Tunde and I forgot Klaus's or their family's aunt, Dahlia. You know, the one that nearly killed the fucking originals. We go from that to fucking musicals. Now, going and watching this episode, they do a monster of the week. This monster is a little bit different. I mean, it's completely different. Because it turns out that this monster, like they're doing a play or whatever, and this monster is there to bring people back together. And I'm just like, okay. I mean, it's definitely a change. It seemed like it came out of nowhere. And the fact that they're doing a musical, I'm just like, all right, so I guess the fact that Raphael's gone or he's probably dead or in another world or wherever, I don't know, that they need to do something to cheer people up. I personally don't really care if he actually stayed or left. Like, I really don't. But okay, sure. Now, here's the thing about these musical songs. I gotta admit, as much as I was against it, and granted, it's still kind of stupid in the sense that I'm gonna tell you why. The best song was the Damon the hell was his name, Caleb, and that wolf guy, the first one when he was like brother. I was just like, wow, this is. I was like, this is good. I was like, I couldn't even sit there and hate on it, even if I wanted to. I was like, okay, all right. And the guy who plays Caleb, like that dude can sing his ass off. So, props to that guy. Out of all the songs he did, and a lot of them was actually tell you the truth, pretty much all of them was good, surprisingly. That was my favorite one. Now, here's the thing, about all these songs. There's no possible way that some of this stuff people could have known. Like, unless they literally, in their journals, they wrote down every single thing that they did. I mean, I know Stefan, he kept a journal, but certain stuff, like towards the end, where they did the song where when Stefan was gonna die, and Caroline came to say goodbye to him. Like, unless she wrote down in a journal somewhere, there's no way that they could have known about that. Like, half of the songs, they couldn't have known about that because they weren't there. And I find it very hard to believe that some of the details that they had in those songs, it was like, there's really no way you could actually know that. I mean, I know they have magic and there's probably ways they can sit there and kind of like decipher stuff, but like, I don't know. I mean, you kind of gotta really have a good sense of disbelief, just to like make sense of some of that stuff. It was like I watched. I was like, there's no way that y'all could have known some of the stuff that went on in these people's lives, in these characters' lives, because they weren't fucking there. Um, and the one thing that I do notice about Lizzie and Josie is that, and this is just my take on it, um, Lizzie represents who Carolyn was before she turned into a vampire. And I feel like Josie is kind of the person that she was after. Like when she calmed down and was a lot more mature and stuff like that after she became a vampire. Also, Hope got a letter from Caroline, and I was wondering, well, why didn't you not give it to Lizzie? That literally made no sense. But okay, sure. Um, when Lizzie was reading the letter, it was like the actor. I can't remember the actress's name, but it was really her that was doing the voiceover for the letter. And I just keep sitting there thinking, at some point we're gonna have to do something about this whole Lizzie thing, because I feel like it's turning into one of those inside jokes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you ever watched Degrassi, there's a character that they called Heather St. Clair. There was never a fucking character named Heather St. Clair, but they always used her as some sort of running joke. Oh, she did this. Oh, she did that. Now, fucking Caroline is becoming the new Heather St. Clair. If you watch Degrassi, you understand what I'm talking about. But the point is, they need to do something about this character because, I know that she was pregnant the last time I saw pictures in her Instagram, but I just feel like at some point they're gonna have to do something because this is just fucking retarded. Um, Hope for the majority of this episode acts like a bitch. Okay, she just acts like a whiny, teenage, angsty, bratty bitch, and I feel like sometimes she's actually the worst part of this show, which is weird because in the title, she's supposed to be the main character, but when you watch the show, she's really not. And sadly, I think my favorite episode was the one where Lizzie was like the main character. I think they were like in an alternate reality or something like that, and she was going through different scenarios and stuff. But she was the main character, and Hope was like kind of secondary. And I was like, this episode flows so much better when she's not in it. Long story short, Landon and Hope got back together because that's what needs to happen. And that's what happened. They broke up for some stupid reason. And then towards the end, they got back together. Everyone yelled and cheered, and it was fucking great, I guess. Well, I guess they don't have to worry about that whole love triangle thing. I remember that was a thing in the first season, a little bit with Raphael and Landon, and it said, fuck that. Um, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like, because I've never been one for shipping and stuff like that, but I feel like this whole Landon and Hope thing was already predestined. It was already predestined, um, before Legacy even started, when it was in the originals, because that's when the character I think was that's when the character was first introduced, Landon, and Hope liked her, liked them, and they danced and everything like that, and so it was already like predestined that was gonna be her boyfriend, like before the show even really started. So I feel like they already kind of like, I don't know. I felt like they kind of already like shot themselves in the foot with any sort of love triangle or some other guy that she could like. I mean, later on down the road, she could probably like somebody else, but like, I don't know. I just felt like they kind of shot themselves in the foot when they already pre-picked Landon as her love interest before the show even started. Um, Milton. The weird thing is that in the beginning, it seemed like Alyssa was actually trying to do MG a favor. You know, she asked her projected and saying there was going to be a new monster and you weren't going to sit there and remember his name. And apparently, whatever this monster was, he came in there and the minute he spoke and he was like, yeah, you know me all your life. He had some sort of mind control or whatever, and like people just didn't know that he was a monster throughout the entire episode, which really didn't matter because he wasn't even a fucking bad guy. But towards the end, um, yeah, Alyssa betrays MG because I don't know. I'm not even gonna sit there and say that's her nature. It is mostly her nature. Um, I felt like she only betrayed him because whatever that guy, the necromancer was there, but like it seems like MG wants to sit there and try to save her, and I'm just like, yo, she is so much of a fucking lost cause. Like, what is even the point? Like, this chick was just a nasty bitch through the first episode, and she never gotten any better. Ever. Not really. She's never really gotten any better. It's just been just this. Ugh. Um, the other wolf girl that was in. No, no, actually, no. She was a vampire. Um, that helped Josie when that monster like broke her arm. They kissed and then she left. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt like they had her there. They didn't know what to do with her, and so they were just like, all right, fuck it, and they just kind of like threw her away or whatever. Um, Now, okay, there was one other thing that was kind of funny. So when Landon was sitting there reading through the play or whatever, um, he noticed that Caroline was Alaric's, teacher. I mean, Alaric was Caroline's teacher, and he was like, "Oh, it's kind of weird." And when I watched that show, it never occurred to me like at one point they got together. Um, and it was nothing serious or anything like that, but they got together and stuff like that, and they, did the devil's tango and stuff. And now I'm sitting there thinking about, I was like, yeah, bro, she was your student, and then you just decide to wife her up. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's a little kind of weird. So that is there was some stuff that I didn't notice that I didn't like about this episode. And again, I'm not gonna lie, for a musical, the songs were actually pretty good. Um, the story was decent, and well, I mean, Hope was kind of the pimple in this whole thing, but it is what it is, I guess. Everything turned out for the best for the most part, except for MG. Yeah, so I should tell you the truth. I was sitting there and say this was an okay episode. Nah, this was actually better than okay. By Legacy standards, this was actually a good episode. Yeah, this was actually a good episode by Legacy standards. Now, I mean, if you compare it to like the Vampire Diaries, the originals, or like even fucking Teen Wolf, we'll just look at this and be like, so that's what they're doing now? They're doing fucking musicals? Yeah, it's a fucking joke. But within the standards of Legacies, this was actually pretty good. I saw the previews. Next episode looks like it's gonna be shit, but you know what? I've surprisingly have been wrong before. So, I don't I don't know about this show. I really don't. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I watched this show because I love the Vampire Diaries universe, like as a whole. Like the Vampire Diaries, the originals, like all that stuff. I just fucking love. Um, this show is like the fucking high school equivalent of that. And even for the Vampire Diaries of it being in high school, it seemed less teenage angst than this shit. But yeah, I would actually sit there and say it was within the show is actually pretty decent. So I mean this episode was pretty decent. The show is shit compared to both of them, but as somebody who just loves that universe so much that the originals ended, I think sometimes I think it ended way too soon, and other times I'm like, you know what, it might have actually ended on the right note. I had to sit there and watch something, so I chose this, and it is what it is. So yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Did you like this episode? If so, which song did you like the best? Um, I'm not gonna lie, it's actually cool that somebody actually likes Stefan, because like so many people were auditioning for Damon. Um, but yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. If you can share the video, it would definitely help out the channel. Write a comment, because that also helps out too. And yeah, I'll catch everyone in the next review.